What's going on? We back with another Can We Keep It Real podcast, man. We're gonna keep it funky, keep it moving, because you can't stop the train. Everybody that went to West Pennington's free breakfast, man, I hope you had a great time, man. Shout out to what West Pennington's doing over there at West Warwick Football, doing great things. You need to really check out my episode with Nate Turner, NFL alumni. His son Tyler Turner playing over there in Chicago. Nate played on 2 Super Bowl teams. Shout out to him. Big shout out to Mark Roy, Coldwell Banker Coastal Homes, a presidential award winner. Give Mark a call today. You're looking to buy a house no matter where you are. 401-787-5203. I mean, Mark looks at every property like he's buying his own home. And everybody knows, shout out to R&R Elite Recruits. Give Ronnie and his team a call, man. Emerson Kilgore, big supporter of what we do, man. So if you're looking for a place to train, get over there and see Emerson, man. You know what? I was giving a lot of love to high school teams, and shame on me for not recognizing the people that get it done. We're going to bring in Glenn Sermos, a youth coach, another one that gets it done. Big for youth football, always has. His son, Christian, played over at UMass. We had him on yesterday, assistant coach at Bishop Phoenix. But I did make a typo on that. I put the new head coach of Bishop Phoenix. So I have to fix that. That one's on me. But I told Christian Glenn yesterday when I talked to him, I said, when I worked with you closely with the little stuff we were doing, the independent thing, he's going to be a great coach. Organized, really had the ducks in order, if you want a little pun to the Oregon Ducks. But he really had his ducks in order, man. I think you raised a good kid. He's going to be a great coach one day. I mean, he's a good coach now.
Yeah, Christian is he's one of those young guys that's on the come up. He's really humble. He's a student of the game. So when he's working with other coaches, he's trying to absorb their knowledge. It's not ego-based, and that's what you like to see now with this new guard coming in. Is guys are working with each other, and it's not all about me, and then they don't want to hear anything.
You're noticing that, a lot of coaches, West Pennington made a comment that sometimes we don't go to the other side of the hash marks and we don't get to know who each other is, and we have egos. And now you have coaches working with each other, trying to make it about Rhode Island football while getting their team better.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what you need. I mean, it's a melting pot. Everybody's got to work together. That's how you bring the game in general up. It's not, you can't have one set of standards and not implement them across the board. You want everybody to kind of work together. At the end of the day, we're all in it for the same purpose. It's for the kids. Youth, high school, that's what it's about. Now,
you got involved with the Providence Hawks, it is, right?
Yes.
Now, what made you go back to coaching? You took a step away for a little while.
Yeah, I took a step away, and they started a spring league out of Massachusetts, the NEYT League, and I got a phone call from a coach in Lincoln, and he wanted me to jump on. It was like an all-star thing, and he wanted.
Excellent, man. You're a good dude, man. I love what you do. Yeah, the sound's back. I got your little man Dimitri, which Sermos is. Well, all right. Yeah, and I seen him a few weeks ago at the Johnson High School game. Little man, gonna be a good football player himself. I got to see your little son at Trent University, what you were doing over there, and I seen him with his big brother. Man, they looked like they were both scouting. But let's bring him up in. Hang on, Let's get him up here. Look at his hair. He got his hair slicked back.
Sure, just take a shower.
You can tell his mama from Queens, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I seen that, and I was like, my man Glenn got himself a Queens, and so who the boss is over there.
Oh, definitely.
So what's up, little guy, man? How you doing?
Good. How about you?
Not bad. How's the football world treating you, man? What are you doing? Who you playing for? Tell us about it.
You're doing good. We just finished our first game against the Jets.
Ooh, Jets are close to your. You're a North Providence guy, so that must have had some intrigue.
Yeah, North Providence against Providence.
How was it?
It was good. We won, I think, 35-0.
Mhm.
Yeah, it
Not
was.
bad. A little bit of humble pie there for you. You know, 35-0. Yeah, a lot of good youth programs. 13. Fail on one. 13-0. I seen Coach Charlie up there. He said we had another third quarter mercy rule. And I guess that's exciting when you're on the right side of it. But so your dad's your coach.
Oh yeah, he's the head coach.
How do you separate dad from the coach?
So I don't really think I don't think of him as a daddy coach as you see like all these other like dad coaches. So like he doesn't baby me. He treats me as and I treat him as like when it comes to the field, I don't think of him as my dad. I think of him as Coach Sermos.
Yo, that's
So
like, and how old are you?
I'm 13, turning 14 in like a month.
A 14-year-old, and that is the best answer I heard from a 14-year-old on that question. So salute to you. And I mean, you're growing up in a football family. I know your bigger brother, and I'm sure your father really. I'm sure that was probably made him feel good.
Yeah, definitely.
You
We,
know.
we try to keep it separate on the field. I mean, he'll always be my son, so obviously, like if there's an injury or anything like that, I'm right there, and it's time for dad to come out. But during the games, it's like, listen, we're here for a reason, and it's not going to do you any good if you expect me to kind of be daddy in you. Then when you get to another level, another league, you got to learn how to play with them.
And
Yeah,
I'm sure you. That Go ahead, Dimitri.
I was just about to say that. Like, if I get babied my entire life when it comes to football, what am I going to do when I get to high school and there's no Glenn Sermos there to protect me?
So it's no, daddy, I want to play this position, but you're gonna let the other guy play. Can I play over him?
Yeah.
None of that. We're gonna bring Coach Ariel in right now. Big shout out to everything the Providence organization's doing, all the Providence teams, Providence Hawks. Get out there and check out their games because it takes a lot to put these organizations together. Coach, welcome, man. How you
Hey,
doing?
thank you for having me. Really appreciate you giving us the opportunity to speak exactly what you just said. It's all Providence teams. Whatever league they're playing in. It's for these kids. We should really get back into supporting these kids and what their dreams are. They're out there on the field. They're out there on the practice field. Working hard every week. And just instilling good values in them, man. And this is what one of the things why we try to, do what we do as an organization. We've had a lot of good success, coming, within, whether it been the 49ers or the Seahawks. We have, Quiddy Pay that came out of our thought process, our foundation of what we instill in our kids. Lee Mosley was another one going back. You want to go a few years back then too, So we got some good history, and what we did is coming together with the North End Seahawks and the Providence 49ers, and just merging together and trying to create a really solid organization. That's what we're really trying to do right now. And you giving us this platform is great, so that people that are on could hear what we're trying to do, and if they're interested in trying to help us build that, I'm all for it. I'm looking for some good coaches out there that understand the game, the way the game is really played and the way the game is taught, even at more on a youth level, just to get these kids ready for high school. That's something that it's kind of hard to find, man. And when we find people like Glenn and his coaching staff, they're doing an amazing thing right now with that varsity level. I know it's buzzing. The Hawks is buzzing in preteen right now, man. We're starting to make some noise, and we're gonna be the talk of the league pretty soon, as we keep on putting these W's up. If this what keeps on happening, you know what I'm
That's what
saying?
it's supposed to be. I think the CLCF had a win against the Providence team, so I guess there's some good good news coming out of Providence. The Providence Hawks got their W. But you're exactly right. To you coaches that are two-quarter coaches, I don't think he's talking to you guys, like coaches that could coach a full game.
Right.
Coaches that are not there for themselves and then that are willing to leave their ego at home.
That's correct.
Because there's no room for egos, and we've seen it the last 10 years.
That's right.
We're here right now, class of 2023. We got so many talented kids. I've seen some of the kids you guys are bringing up right now on the youth level. The next class that are moving up, shout out to Coach Nadeem, what he's doing with Behind the Pads, going back to his second NFL flag championship game, and Rhode Island's doing good. The Cumberland kid that had 5 touchdowns at the UMass game yesterday.
Oh yeah, he's an animal.
Technically a freshman.
Yeah,
he's a sophomore, but he's a freshman player right now.
That's my
5
friend's
touchdowns.
Son, as a matter of fact, he's a monster. That kid's a monster, man.
Shout out to everything UMass Dartmouth's doing, but Rhode Island is still not getting the recognition. But like Coach Willie Edwards said, we built our foundation, and Rhode Island can ball.
That's right. I can't agree more, man. And it just really, it's like you say, coaches got to learn to just, put their egos on the door. Just, come in and if an organization is trying, if you see that an organization is really trying to build something here for these kids, I went down south in North Carolina to Raleigh, North Carolina. I'll never forget this. I went a few years back. I was about 3 or 4 years ago, and my friend's brother, he runs a league out there. At the time he did. He retired from it now. And, I get there and I see how they're just doing what they're doing. And it was just so organized and uniformed. Everybody was doing these drills, things on, you seen people doing indies, and then what I noticed though was when he introduced me to a lot of the coaches these are a lot of coaches that end up playing D1 football that came back and giving back to these kids and teaching these kids what they learned. You know what I'm saying? So if we can get more kids that go to high school and then go to college and then and they can come back and help out some way with these Rhode Island kids, man. That's how we can get the ball going. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what it's supposed to be. We're supposed to come back and take care of each other. I deal with this group from Maryland called Voice Sports, and youth football is bigger than life down there. All the camps they have.
Yeah.
How often do we send a Rhode Island team south? They come back disappointed. Like, we could build a great youth travel league. Like, we have some great players on some of these teams, but why build it if everyone's not on board?
Right. I want to hit on that too. One thing though, so as of right now, preteen has about 15 teams, right? So with that being said, now you got FBU that pretty much starts right when preteen ends. If you got 15 teams in preteen, I honestly think this year we can that 13U guys is gonna be a monster team. I think all across the board, Rhode Island's gonna have a really strong FBU team because now we got 15 teams in preteen that no longer have to go under the AYF or Pop Warner rules, and they're allowed to play with us. You know what I mean? Or allowed to play in FBU. And I'm dying for that to happen because I'm gonna tell you, man, I've been a few years already with FBU, and it's just like getting beat to Mass Elite, and you're just like, But it takes time, and I think Rhode Island and certain organizations are on the right track. You got certain teams on the right track. We're doing the right things that should be done, and as long as we keep on going with that type of state of mind, man, we'll start turning that ball the way it should be.
So we have to get some of you guys on the youth level, get together in a room. How do we do this? How do we build Rhode Island a super team, that kids want to play? And I agree with what Coach Nod was saying. We just can't let anybody behind the pads. Like, we want to go out there and we want to win. So we have to build these squads. And I really believe, Coach Nod, Coach Perry, Coach Sermos, and Coach Sermos speaks for yourself. So you guys are not in it for the glory. You're in it to. There's a bigger picture here for this little guy. Him coming up. You know what I mean? Got a lot of guys under him.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I've always acted like, and I try to tell people, I'm like, man, Belichick's not in a 13U stadium watching you coach. Like,
No.
The NFL is not coming at your door if you run the table with your 10-year-olds.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
about what do you give the next coach as a player?
There you go.
And what does that kid do when he sees you in 5 years? Does he call you coach or does he just go, hey?
Right.
Like, that's your job.
Right.
Well, Coach Washington brings up a good point because shout out Coach Michael Washington over there at Central High School, and he said to me, I said, Coach, it looks like the last year you tightened them bootstraps up because Coach Washington was a player's coach for a long time.
Yeah.
And he said, he made a great point. He said, the problem with that is sometimes there's a line that these kids don't understand when you're the friend and when you're the coach. So you have to separate that and just let them know I'm the coach.
That's right.
This is how it's going to be.
That's right. He's a great coach. I tip my hat off to Coach Mike Washington. And by the way, man, he got about 4 or 5 players from the North End Seahawks on that Super Bowl team. You know what I mean? So
Central's knows going to be problems.
He knows what we instilled in those kids. That kid Jordy, that's a Seahawk right there. That boy is a monster. You know what I'm saying? And I had that kid since he was like 9 years old under my wing. You know what I mean? So I just, in all honesty, too, I just teach these kids about hard work, man. You know what I'm saying? It's really, that's what I try to instill with them is hard work. You work hard, you're going to get benefits from it. And that's not only on the field, but in the classroom. You know, I tell these kids before they go to high school, when you're in high school and you're getting to college, you're selling your mind and you're selling your body to these colleges. That's what they're looking at. So what you could provide for them in that sense, you're going to reap the benefits. You know what I'm saying? And
you're right. You're right. And, you know, the recruiting starts at home. And, you know, as hard as this is to say, some parents have to hear this. They have no problem hanging outside, hanging on the block, rolling up, instead of worrying about the recruiting starts at home.
Yep.
Right. Absolutely right.
You know, some things just have to be said. Coach, how do people, if they want to be part of your organization, how do they contact you guys? Where do they go? Where your games are at?
So our home games are at the Mount Pleasant High School field. They're on Sundays. I want to say if I'm not mistaken, they can get the schedule right on our website, which is www.providencehogs.org. We also have a Facebook page. And, you know, unfortunately, right now, the season's pretty much locked up for us. But we're hoping that, you know, for the following season, we can get a better turnout with the kids. You know, we're playing some Iron Man football with some of these levels. But, hey, to me, it's all good because the more football you play, the better you get. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. But hopefully, providencehogs.org.
Okay, I'll fix that.
I got a great fundraiser coming up pretty soon that I'll get it out to you once we get the flyer and everything going. But it's gonna be a great fundraiser for this organization, and it's gonna be open to the public. So once I get that flyer going, I'll give it to you so you can shout it out for us, and it's a great night for a great cause. You know what I mean?
There it is. We got it now. Providence Hawks. I'm trying to produce, do all this stuff. But yeah, definitely your fundraisers, you're definitely welcome to come on here, talk about it. You want to bring your captains on.
Yeah. Okay.
Little man, great. Your hair dried fast. Look at that. It's
I was having the fan on. So.
I'm like, yo, his hair's fluffy now. But I love your big brother Christian, man. Like I do. I think he's gonna be a great coach. You know, in his own, he got his ducks in a row. You know, but I love what the kid's doing.
Listen, the one thing I say about Christian, and I know I'm a little biased because he's my kid. I'm like, this kid is 22 years old, and he's on the weekends out getting these kids, picking them up for practice, dropping them off. Like he's dedicated, not just because he likes coaching, he's dedicated to the growth of these kids, and that's the kind of coach you want to see because he's at Feehan with kids that are trust fund babies, and that's great. You know, and he's coaching them, and he doesn't change when he's going into Hartford projects and he's picking up kids that need it. And he knows the sacrifice that needs to be made because those kids, they have to be handled obviously differently, and it doesn't skip a beat. It's like, listen, you know, we all bleed the same blood. It doesn't matter what you got in your bank account. At the end of the day, we're all human. We got to help each other, and that's the biggest thing. And that's the most pride I take from him. I think he's a great coach, but I just love the fact that he doesn't skip a beat. If he's at Feehan, if he's at the Hawks practice, he's Christian Sermos. He's coaching. He's not phased.
And to add on to that, I knew Christian. I knew you guys for about 3 years now. So he's 22 now. Before the kid was 20 years old, he had that same drive in him. So he helped me with the Rhode Island Independent League, and he was like right on the ball. Like maturity don't come for boys at 20 years old.
He was coaching with me since he was 14.
Exactly, you know.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Coach Ariel, I know this little guy is gonna be real big in his old day, you know. But I always every week you guys send me what's going on with youth football. I'll promote it. We'll talk about it. You want to come on the podcast and promote your fundraisers?
Yes.
You're more than welcome, man. Glenn, you already know. Thank you, sir. Everything that you do for football.
Hey, listen, we appreciate you, man. You're doing it for Rhode Island. You know, somebody has to step up and take that mantle. We can't keep waiting on the Pro Joe.
That's right. That's right.
We appreciate, man. You're putting in a lot of work, and everybody knows it. So we appreciate.
I'm trying. Thank you. You know, like, and respect to what the Pro Joe does, but they're not about the local sports. If you would have talked about the Cumberland kid,
that's right, man,
blowing out like having this to UMass Dartmouth, having Rhode Island football players on their roster.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But shout out to you guys. He probably just fell off, but it happens. Glenn, you're always welcome to come on. We're definitely gonna update your score. Congratulations, you know.
Thank you.
Little man, keep doing your thing, man. I want to see some pancakes this week.
I'll make sure to serve them up ready and hot.
Ready and hot, the pancake machine. Shout out to Trent University, everything that you guys got going on over there. Yeah, definitely, man. Let us know some kids to keep an eye on, Coach.
Definitely will. You'll be hearing from me weekly.
Yes, nice. And I'll be over there to check a game out at Conley Field. Beautiful, beautiful facility.
Yep, come check us out.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Have a good one.
Thanks a lot, Mikey.
Bye. Coach Sermo's doing his thing. You know, Christian up there, Bishop Feenan, we had him on yesterday. Good things to come. You know, we're just trying to motivate the kids, try to keep more kids involved in football. But let me get this quick video on here, and I'll give you guys a chance while I have a chance to do something. But we back. Yo, look, we come back from a timeout. We got Uncle Felix in the house. Yo, that dude like teleported here. Boom.
Hey, what's up? That was quick.
All right, yeah, I was talking to some people earlier, and we were on, talking about youth football, and I said, well, let me see if Uncle Felix is back from driving yet, because I'm interested in your top three picks. Did you do a top three for every division?
I did.
So everyone, if you don't know, this is Uncle Felix. Uncle, give me a minute. Why don't you explain to the people just what your top three is about, and don't make your picks. Just explain how you got there, and give me 1 second.
Yep, no problem. I made my top three picks from each division, basically based on performance from last year and the rising classes coming in this year. So we'll see. Obviously, it's always tough to make the picks at the beginning of the season, but it's always fun, and we'll see who lives up to the expectations, and we will see who will not. I'm here watching the Patriots Miami game here. What a good game. Miami's about to tie it up here with this 40-yard try.
Oh, he's over NFL Miami. How did what's the score?
Is tied now, 10-10. No time on the clock, halftime.
Let me see if I can get Max Preps up in here, man. So on your picks,
Yep.
D1, who was your top three?
My top three were Hendricken, LaSalle, and Central.
Now Hendricken taking the loss against Iona, and I know certain kids didn't play this week. They didn't have a game last week. How did you come to that? I mean, because they're naturally Hendricken and they're loaded, or
Oh, yeah, they're loaded. Also, because the team that they played is an out-of-state team, probably a top 100 team in the country, actually, if not even higher. They're top. They're ranked 3 in New York. So when you lose to a team like that, I'm not gonna knock you for it.
no? You really can't. So you have LaSalle, and your third was Central.
Central, yep. Central was tough last year. They bring back a very strong line. They bring back their quarterback. They got some talented receivers, Prince Quay, and Felix Rodriguez. There, I think they're going to be a tough team to beat. And Hendrick and LaSalle better watch out because I think they both play them. So we'll see what happens.
Now while we're on the Division One, Division One is sloppy right now. Respectfully, you got a few of them teams at the top, and then there's a big gap in talent.
Yeah,
SK, East Providence.
I would agree with that. Division One is very top heavy. There's not um, there's not a lot of parity, I guess, throughout the division. But we'll see. I mean, this is all on paper. This is early. We could get surprised. But from what if I had to make a bet, I think the division's very top heavy right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, EG, you got Hendrick and Central, Woonsocket, Portsmouth. So Portsmouth got the
Yeah,
they got the win, right?
They did. They played out of state team. They played Somerset Berkeley, and they won that game. They won, I believe, 20-6 at home. So they started off with a W. They got Ben Hurd, who is a top player in the state. He's a senior this year. He led that team as a sophomore to the state championship against Hendricken, actually. So he's returning as a senior. He's got a great supporting cast. I remember watching that team in youth football with him as the quarterback, and they actually went pretty far. I think they went to the regional. So you got that group of kids all together, and a lot of them are seniors now.
Now, with EG being a D1 team, St. Ray's being a D2 team, should that give EG more of a higher ranking than St. Ray's? Because some people have EG in the top 5 and St. Ray's outside the top 6.
Well, it's still early. You know what I mean? So when you're doing these rankings, you're basically going on past performances. So you can go either way there. I think St. Ray's is actually probably the better team, just because I know EG was decimated up front. They lost a lot of talent. They do return a great quarterback in Park Hardisky, but their line is very young now, and they lost a great receiver, and I can't think of his last name. I know his first name was Jack, but the kid the kid was an absolute stud for them. And they lost him obviously too. He just graduated.
Now we look St. Ray's right now. Someone posed the question: best D2 team versus worst D1 team. Who wins?
Oh, best D2 team, hands down.
All right. So now we talk D2. St. Ray's. You had St. Ray's. You had Coventry and Tolman.
Mm-hmm.
St. Ray's, of course. Shredded NK, like held
St. Ray's,
NK.
yep. St. Ray's shredded NK. St. Ray's is a tough team. They should have, they should be in Division 1. It is what it is. They're going to play the schedule they have in front of them. They're obviously the team to beat in Division 2. Coventry, I'm more basing that on how they finished off last year, and I think they played Chariho, correct? The first game, is that right?
No, Coventry. They played the Cranston East.
Cranston East.
Westerly played Charahoe. Yeah, Coventry played Cranston East. From what I'm understanding, the officiating was a whole nother question, but I know there was a late call that actually gave Cranston East a position to score their only touchdown of the game. Some say Coventry should have won that game 28-0.
Yeah. I didn't see that game. Good officiating, bad officiating. It's all part of the game. I know when I was breaking down some film for West Day when I was doing the stats, and I had posted because I noticed there was a call clearly missed in his game that led to a Cranston West touchdown. But if you sit here and you pick apart every single call, you know what I mean. These people are human; they're gonna miss stuff. It's all part of the game.
And there's definitely a lot of people, a lot of officials that could probably say, "Hey, coach, way to go! Nice way to screw that third down up."
Yeah.
But yes, I think we have to just start, we have to get through this hump, because we definitely don't have a lot going on. But St. Ray's, you have Coventry, in your top three, and Tolman. Coach Blake saying Tolman had a tough line the other day, when Pilgrim played them.
Yeah, Tolman's got a big team. They're gonna be, just sheer size. That's a team. You can also argue should be up in Division 1, but they're they're in Division 2, so they're gonna knock some heads around. That's for sure.
Is NK, were they that bad? I mean, they held them under 20 yards in the first quarter.
NK, the jury's out on them. It seems like they took a step back last year. They lost their quarterback, who's actually the starting quarterback at Framingham State now. Can't think of his first name. His last name is Carr. He was a great quarterback for them, and he is over at Framingham State. Obviously, so they got a new signal caller there. So the jury's out on them. I mean, those coaches are great. They usually put out a great product, so I wouldn't count them out just yet. Yeah, I know they did lose to St. Ray's. But again, St. Ray's is pretty much a D1 team masquerading in Division 2 right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You look at St. Ray's and you look at their roster, Moses Muse, Napoleon, DePina Gray, and they all have offers, or they all could have offers right now.
Yeah, don't forget Enrique Ross is a stud for them too. They're absolutely loaded. They're loaded for bear. So I don't want to put too much pressure on them, but it's their division to lose.
No, it definitely is. I think they was averaging 15 yards per 129.5 yards rushing, and it's only the first game.
Wow.
But you could put this dude Moses anywhere on the field. He had I think he had 6 carries for 98 yards. You look at the Peener, 18 for 74 yards rushing it. So they could rush it with the Barrows, 11 carries for 44 yards, So they could rush it from anywhere they want. And guess what? They could throw the ball too.
Yeah, they got a lot of weapons.
Definitely a lot of. So we go up to Division 3. Shout out to what Pilgrim's doing. And here's a little moment right now. Get to the Pilgrim game this week. You're going to see a brand new look from Pilgrim. Pilgrim's got brand new gear. Shout out to Coach Blake. Everything he's doing for the Pilgrim Pats, but definitely new uniforms for the boys. They must be souped. So, what about your Division III pick for the top three?
Who did I have there? I had Pilgrim. Trying to recall here. Can you pull it up for me?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me get over there. Give us 1 second while I look for this peep. So while I'm looking at it, how was let's tell me how good that Coventry kid was over there at the UMass Dortmund game.
I think you mean the Cumberland kid.
The Cumberland kid. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Cumberland kid.
He was fantastic. I mean, that was his first true start in college football, and he threw over 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, and added another rushing touchdown. So 6 touchdowns in his debut start.
And he's technically a freshman.
Correct. Yep. And he also he played he played the second half and a little bit of the second quarter of the week before. And he led them to a comeback win over Hudson College, and then this week here a big win over Dean College. So a game and a half. He's got 8 total touchdowns, 7 passing touchdowns. I mean, UMass is going to be tough to beat this year, and they got a huge game coming up against Framingham State, because Framingham State is usually the powerhouse in that conference, but they're off to an 0-2 start. But they did play out of conference their first 2 games, so we'll see. I mean, it's a huge week for UMass Dartmouth here.
I love what UMass Dortmund's doing, and I thought for sure there would have been an article in the Providence Journal about that game just because of the stats, but I'm not surprised.
You should know better. Your son's not doing his job over there.
Why would that be, though? Like, why not talk about, like, isn't that a Rhode Island story? Like,
part of it's laziness, and the other
is it politics?
I would say laziness and in all honesty, resources. I mean, again, as much as I knock the guy, I think he's a clown. He doesn't have the resources. It's one guy trying to cover every single high school sport in Rhode Island. I mean, that's insane.
But we've seen this all over the internet, so it's not even like you need the resource to know this kid from Cumberland. Mike Murray, shout out to him. He was tagging him. You talked about it. I talked about it. Like it's not like it was a secret.
It would take him 5 minutes. I totally get it. I'm just trying to give the guy the benefit of the doubt.
Nah, URI would flip. That's the reason. URI would have a conniption fit.
Really?
That's definitely URI would flip a friggin' lid. I don't know why, but
whatever the reason, it's a shame because
yes, it is.
I mean that's. I'm gonna go out on the limb and say that's one of the better performances in the country, no matter what division. Not too many kids are scoring, 6 touchdowns in a game.
You see what DeCharo did when he, the kid on the line, I think his number is 62. He just picked that kid up like a wrestling move, and oh my goodness, man! I had the picture, but we'll get back to your Division III top 3. Felix in the house. You had Pilgrim, of course. Shout out Blake. Narragansett, and Johnston High School. I think you had Johnston first, followed by Pilgrim, and then Narragansett.
Yeah, Johnston returns their signal caller there, and he's still got some weapons. Johnston obviously made it deep into the playoffs last year, so they're back. I don't think we should write them off. They did lose, obviously, Zednick, who's over at UMass, and by the way, he scored a touchdown as well. So they still got some weapons there. And then Narragansett, they still got some heavy firepower there. I love their offense. They're always on the attack. So it's going to be very competitive. I mean, like we said, Division I's very top heavy, but 2 and 3, 2 besides St. Ray's, and 3, they're going to be very competitive.
Yeah, no, definitely Narragansett, winning back-to-back Super Bowls, winning back-to-back passing league championships, so Narragansett is definitely putting the work in. I definitely agree with that top 3. Johnston loses their injury fund game, to a good Burrillville team, small Burrillville team, so we'll definitely All right, so let me get this back up and let's go on to D4. Shout out D4, the most smoking league, the most smoking division in Rhode Island football, man. That division could be very, very competitive. Situate, EWG, Ponagansett. I'm curious who you had. Oh, I figured you had Ponagansett up there.
Yeah, I think I had Pond against it, I believe.
Then the Knights, EWG.
WG and also Smithfield. Smithfield looked really impressive the other day running that triple option offense. They looked very comfortable. They put up 30 points against, I think they beat Tiverton 30-0. And Tiverton's a very well coached team. So, but we'll see. Again, these are preseason picks. We'll get a better picture of what's going on probably 3 or 4 weeks into it.
And I was gonna do this yesterday. I gotta say my friend's sons play for Smithfield. Jesse Ganu, he's number 11, a wide receiver, defensive back, and James Benavides, number 32. But then boys found out that their uncle passed away right before the game, and they went out and played their hearts out. Their uncle, a dear friend of mine, loses his life to a horrible addiction, and I speak on that to know that them kids put that on their shoulder and went out there and put a good performance. So I told my friend that I was gonna, dedicate this to his kids, and I was definitely gonna speak about that. But it's definitely tough when this happens, and shout out to them two boys to be able to put that on their shoulders.
Yeah, definitely. That's a tough thing to play with.
Yeah, it definitely is, and and no family is, it could hit anybody. So nobody's above the rim on this. So I think we should. I say this because we should take care of each other. If we see someone in a bad situation,
Yeah,
we got to do something.
at the end of the day, obviously it's sports. It's very competitive. But at the end of the day, we're all humans. We're all brothers.
So Division 4, Eric says Data got the best backfield in Ponagansett in the game right now.
I wouldn't put too much stock in what Eric has to say. Not to knock the kids from Ponagansett. They got a couple of very talented backs there, but that's being very dismissive to the other kids around the state. I could think of two great running backs in LaSalle, two great running backs over at Hendricken, who would beg to differ with what Mr. Rube has to say.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think that even put a lot on Mount Pleasant's shoulders. Putting them inside the top 9, the top 20. They're in a rebuilding year, new coaching staff. Shout out to them. I did like what I seen from Westerly, Coach Dunn, but I like what I see from Charahoe. Never mind, there was a strong first half team, did good. Stanley Dunbar makes the adjustments. They shut him down. Hold Charahoe to 3 points. Where would that put Westerly in the rankings as far as like in the state? How do you feel they're ranked?
For Charo, they're going to be in the mix of things. They're one of those X Factor teams. They're a hard nosed team. They're tough. I'm going by memory. Their senior class should be pretty decent because I remember playing their youth football team when my oldest was in the 8th grade, and they gave us a tough game. And those kids are now all seniors as well, so I think they're going to be pretty tough. So that's a nice win.
Yeah, they have 17 seniors this season.
Wow.
On their roster. I like what Stanley Dunbar does. He brings in Coach Najee Barrows, who runs Beast Coast, I think it is, Football Academy. Definitely shout out to Najee. And the energy that Coach Najee brought, Stanley said it bred life into the whole team.
Nice. That's good to hear.
So
yeah, Stanley does good things. Good things. They're in good hands.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of good coaches. Coach B-Ball, if you're listening, man, like, where are you? Where are you? Get in here. We definitely need to chop it up. But Felix, we're gonna have a good season. Go Hawks. I'm sure they're gonna rebound this week and open up some type of can. I don't know what kind of can it is, but yeah, I think whoever their opponents are this week are gonna they're gonna feel the pain.
We shall see.
We shall see. Thank you, Uncle Felix. We'll definitely talk soon, man. You're always welcome.
Alrighty, thanks for having me.
All right, bye-bye. Uncle Felix, man, coming right in the house. Let me get this video over here. And my daughter is requesting me.
You nervous with butterflies in your stomach, don't try to intimidate me. You couldn't scare me with lip. I'm spontaneous, smart, dangerous, fancy and quick. My trainer told me to work, he ain't prepared me to quit. I'm the only captain who's sailing this championship.
I gotta hold down the city.
Gotta let you know where